means go to the lowest level, center part, smallest room of your house. Get a helmet on if you can. Remember, most injuries due to tornadoes are head injuries. So if you can put any kind of helmet on at all, that of course would be a very good safety tip to make. Get on heavy shoes as well, because when you emerge from shelter, if there's been a tornado hit, there will likely be a lot of debris around, nails, glass, so the heavy footwear will be a good idea. But we're looking at velocities right now. We've got some strong outbound, strong inbounds, kind of focused here south of Okemah. So this is going to be moving to the north-northeast, very close to the community of Okemah right now. Meteorologist John Boyer is here. Meteorologist Ben Walnick is also here. Our full severe weather team is in place and our storm trackers are out. Let's check in with meteorologist John Boyer. John?
Yeah, I want to talk for a minute about the flooding, the flash flooding threat. We're in the early stages of this. Just to set the scene here, it is 8 o'clock. You're watching Fox 23 Live Severe Weather Team coverage. Flood warnings, flash flood warnings now out for Pawnee County and the western half of Osage County as the heavy rain has moved in. And where the heavy rain has been in Oklahoma City, a number of flash flood warnings. If you're traveling this holiday weekend or know somebody is down in the Oklahoma City area, it is quite a mess with a number of flash flooding reports. And it looks like that's a situation we're going to have to worry about here in Tulsa and Green Country this evening and overnight as the heavy rain band, the squall line, moves very slowly to the east. We're talking not just a widespread few inches of rain, but some spots could even exceed that, and this could be more serious than last weekend. We go back over to certified meteorologist Ben Walnick.
And we do have a new tornado warning that has just been issued, and this is pretty far to the southeast from the tornado warning that we've been tracking right now. This is for Latimer County. That has been issued until 8:30, so on the air at least for the next 30 minutes. Let's zoom into our Weather 4 computer, and we'll zoom into the tornado warning that we are seeing here, and that is right in the southern part of Latimer County. That's where we're seeing this warning. This is moving to the north, and it's moving to the north at 30 miles per hour. So if we go ahead and take a look at what that will be to the north. So moving at 30 miles per hour, that's still pretty far from Wilburton, right around half an hour from Wilburton. So continuing to track that threat as it moves right up Highway 2. This is an area that we had a tornado just a couple of weeks ago, very near Yanush. This is passing to the north right along Oklahoma 2, Yanish, right along Oklahoma 2. So this is passing very close to that area right now. You need to be taking your tornado precautions in Yanish right now, passing on Oklahoma 2 to the north. And Wilburton, you are in this warning. That's about 30 minutes from now. Now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist James Adelot, who is tracking the tornado warning moving through Okfuskee County.
Okay, again, we're looking, I'm just checking out that Latimer County storm too. Here's Damon at the top of your screen, Veterans Colony. This is Highway 2. Buffalo Valley, main circulation now is just to the north of Yanish and right along Highway 2. And as this moves to the northeast, moving over mostly forested land and some pretty heavily wooded land too. Now, I'm going to take a look a little bit further to the north right now. And as we take a look at the Tulsa Weather Service, the latest here on the storm that's moving into central parts of Okfuskee County, we've got a tornado warning in effect that does include the city of Okemah right now. It looks like right now we're looking at two potential areas of rotation with the storm. One just to the southwest of Okemah and another one just southeast of Okemah. Want to bounce you back and we'll show you the warnings that are in effect for all of eastern Oklahoma right now. Severe thunderstorm warning for Osage and now Washington County, and we could see wind as the primary threat here. We've seen a couple of little spins on the leading edge of this line of storms, but right now the main threat's going to be flooding rain and maybe some wind gusts as this line of thunderstorm moves in. Barnsdall by 8:07, Willow Rock, Bowring, Oshaleta, Bartlesville toward Skiatook, Havana, and Tyro by 9:09. We're also seeing showers and storms firing up in the metro area too, but so far no severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued in the city of Tulsa. We'll take a little closer look here. We've got some heavier rain falling, especially across parts of the southern metro area, some thunder and lightning here. Creek Turnpike south to about 141st, maybe even 151st Street. So some pockets of very heavy rain. Remember, the ground is saturated here. Everything that's falling is going to run off. That's going to lead to some street flooding very quickly as these heavy showers and thunderstorms move over the city, even if they're not severe. We'll do a track on what's just to the west of Tulsa right now. And again, the heaviest rain is going to be moving up to the northeast over the next hour, and that's going to be moving across the city of Tulsa. Keystone State Park by 8:15, Sapulpa 8:25, Prattville 8:33, Sand Springs 8:41. Downtown Tulsa about 8:49. We're looking at Sperry close to 9 o'clock, Tulsa International Airport just after 9 o'clock as well. Now, what we're watching along this line is for any kind of brief spin-ups along the leading edge. Now, the atmosphere is very conducive this evening to support some of these brief tornado spin-ups, and that's why we've seen these tornado warnings get issued. Now, as we look a little bit further to the south, we still are tracking that tornado warning in Okfuskee County right now, including the city of Okemah. I'm going to take a look into velocities now, and as we look just between Okemah and Bearden right here, that's going to be the main zone that I'm watching for any kind of rotation. It looks like maybe just southeast of Okemah, we've had one patch of rotation, and earlier there was one just to the southwest of Okemah. It's not super strong, this rotation, but we're watching it very closely nonetheless. I want to take a look at some of the high-res Doppler radar data as we look just to the southeast of Okemah right now. This is just south of Interstate 40. Here's Clearview Road up to exit 227 on I-40. We've had one other circulation south of Okemah. It looks a little bit weaker now. Now, we've had persistent indications on radar that this rotation has been around, but we also had at least one emergency manager report of a tornado east of Bearden. So that's why that tornado warning has been issued. So you folks in Okfuskee County, especially Okemah, watching the storm very, very closely as it continues to move to the north. It may pass, this main part of the circulation may pass just to the southeast of Okemah. Too close to call, though. In Okemah, you need to remain in your tornado-safe shelters. Meteorologist John Boyer is also standing by. And John, you've got more. We're not only dealing with the tornado threat, we've got flash flooding to worry about too.
Yeah, this is just going to get worse when it comes to flash flooding. If you know anybody in central Oklahoma have been seeing what they're posting or talking about this evening, that's something we're going to have to worry about this evening and overnight. Want to point out too, in our communication with the National Weather Service, we're watching this area of Creek County west of Sapulpa where a new circulation may be emerging. No signs of a tornado on that right now, but it could very quickly get into that territory if we see these trends continue. So we're going to watch west of Sapulpa. And in the meantime, too, a report from a ham spotter in Bristow of 50-mile-an-hour winds. So very strong winds on the leading edge of this heavy rain coming at us from central Oklahoma. We'll zoom back out and set the scene here at 8:07. And we've got a tornado watch for all of Green Country that goes until 4 in the morning. But the more widespread impact we're going to have when it comes to weather is going to be flash flooding. And that flash flood watch goes until Monday morning. So here's our line of storms that stretches from west of Bartlesville back down to Bristow and south to about Norman, moving slowly to the east, and behind it a solid wall of rain that's going to be with us through the night. And where we're getting some of these tornado warnings is with the individual small cells out ahead of this line. Of course, the one very near Okemah, the one we're looking at in Latimer County, not too far away from where 2 weekends ago we were tracking a tornado warning down there, and what indeed turned out to be a tornado. We do have rain in Metro Tulsa right now. This rain in Tulsa is not severe. The stronger winds and possible circulations are still out to our west, so we've got to stay weather aware here in Tulsa. But once we get this rain started, and it already has, this is going to continue pretty heavily for the next several hours, unfortunately. So again, worried about flash flooding in Tulsa and in other parts of Green Country this evening. I'll send it over to certified meteorologist Ben Walnick to see what you've learned.
And we are tracking 2 tornado warnings right now. One in Okfuskee County, very near the Okemah area. A new warning just issued in the last few minutes. This one is in Latimer County, and I've got a storm track on the map for you from the area of rotation that we're seeing. And this is just now right along Oklahoma 2. Areas in the path, 821 Damon, 830 Wilburton, Center Point, right at 833. So we've got a little bit of a window right here, but still right along Oklahoma 2, a dangerous situation, but moving into a slightly less populated area near a Veterans Colony, likely before Damon, right around 8:15. And this is tracking pretty close to right along Oklahoma 2. We'll veer off a little bit to the east of Oklahoma 2 here as I clear off our tornado track here as Oklahoma 2 moves a little bit further to the northwest, and this is more of a due north motion, but just east and very close to where we had an EF2 tornado just a few weeks ago in this very same area. That one moving from southwest to northeast towards Red Oak. This one not moving towards Red Oak, due north, a little bit closer to the Wilburton area. That will be very close to 8:30. So we'll keep an eye on that right now, moving through southern parts of Latimer County. That warning in effect for the next 20 minutes. We continue our Fox 23 severe weather team coverage, tracking several areas of rotation and that flash flooding threat. Let's send things over to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot.
Okay, continuing to track active warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings north of Tulsa. No warnings in the city right now, and those 3 tornado warnings south of Tulsa right now. I'm going to track the 2 tornado warnings that are in our area. The first one, Okfuskee County, because this one's very close to Okemah. And I'll also continue to watch in Creek County for a small but persistent rotation that's been north of Lake Hayburn State Park and moving a little closer to Sapulpa right now. But for now, we zoom into the Okemah area, and the circulation has been very close to Clearview. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. So it is passing just southeast of the Okemah area through eastern parts of Okfuskee County. This is Highway 48. So from Okemah up toward IXL, that's the western edge of this warning zone. Moving toward Woodard Corner, if it holds together eventually, we're talking toward the community of Okfuskee as well. As we move a little bit further to the southeast, we have that other tornado warning that's in effect in Latimer County. The circulation here is also strong, but it's continuing to move to the north along Highway 2, maybe just to the east of Highway 2. Ben just did a great job of tracking this storm. Want to just update that track as it moves up closer to Veterans Colony and then a little bit closer toward the Wilburton area. As it moves to the north, it may stay just to the southeast of Wilburton over the next few minutes, but passing just along or east of Highway 2. So that's critical as we watch this storm move to the northeast. Now, new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for the city of Tulsa. You can see it right here, and that's in effect until 8:45. Wind is going to be the main threat with this storm. We could see some small hail with it too. Now, here's what I want to show you with the high resolution Doppler radar data. We're really tied into Creek County here. Here's Sapulpa, Prattville, Keystone State Park, Manford at the top of your screen. What I'm looking at here, just north of State Highway 33, is the brighter greens right here and some brighter reds here. So what I'm looking at is a potential circulation that's been fairly persistent here in northeastern parts of Creek County. This will be watching very closely. It's still fairly weak right now, but it has had some organization, it's had some persistence, and that means we're really locked in on it right here just in case this warning gets extended into parts of Creek County. There, we just saw another update, so circulation is still very tight right here, and it looks like it might be growing just a little bit. New 50-mile-per-hour wind reported in Bristow, and that's what prompted the severe thunderstorm warning for the metro area. I'm going to bounce back out just a little bit, and we're going to switch view on this high-resolution radar and look back down into Okfuskee County. And the National Weather Service is saying they're watching that circulation as well, just to the east, just to the west of Sapulpa. So again, toward Clearview Road, just to the west of Clearview Road and I-40, this is going to be one circulation center. As that moves to the north-northeast, it's going to be moving very close to Woodard Corner, maybe just to the west of Fayreau. Let's check in with Ben Walnick for more, Ben.
We do have a new tornado warning that was just issued, and that is just southwest of the area James was just talking about, moving into Hughes County, and that does include just areas just north of Holdenville in far northwestern parts of Hughes County and near the Cromwell area as well. That's a new tornado warning that is in effect until 8:45. That storm moving to the north at 40 miles per hour. So what we're seeing right here is the area of rotation here, and that is very close to Wewoka as we take a look at exactly the speed of that moving to the north at 40 miles per hour. So we'll go ahead and change our storm track time. A lot of these storms are moving at slightly different speeds. So as we track this due north at about 30 to 45 miles per hour, not many locations and no locations in the Fox 23 viewing area, but it will be very close to the county line, moving possibly into western parts of Okfuskee County. So we'll keep a close eye on that. So a little bit of a reset as I zoom things out. We have 3 different tornado warnings that we're tracking. We also have severe thunderstorms lining up along Highway 75, moving into the Bartlesville area here in the next 20 to 30 minutes, moving into the Tulsa Metro here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Damaging winds potential there, and not out of the question that we see a tornado warning spark, especially with the storm that James was just talking about in portions of Creek County. So we've got a tornado watch until 4 a.m. We've got the flash flooding potential, and that is really the most widespread threat we're seeing. But right now we are tracking 3 different tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings, and we're going to continue to track this threat as we head through the night. It's going to be a very long night as that flash flooding threat will last all the way into Sunday. We continue our Fox 23 severe weather team coverage with Chief Meteorologist James Ayala.
Again, we're looking at high-resolution Doppler radar data. Northern Creek County, this circulation still persistent. This is the Highway 33 exit that takes you west from the Turner Turnpike. Here's Sapulpa. Highway 97 exit is 215, back up toward the exit back for the Creek Turnpike South Loop there across Tulsa. That's 218. And our circulation is just to the south. This is 61st Street. This is Highway 33. So this would be at about between 81st Street South and about 121st Street South here in extreme northern parts of Creek County. This is moving to the northeast, so we're watching this very closely. Prattville, Sand Springs, north of Sapulpa, along Highway 97. New update continues to show this thing is very well organized and continues to rotate very strongly. Let's check in. Meteorologist John Boyer has got more while I zero in on the circulation that's developing in Creek County, John.
Yeah, I want to take a storm track on the leading edge of this warning that's caused the severe thunderstorm warning for Tulsa. And this one goes through 8:45. It's lined up here west of the city, moving to the east about 30 miles an hour. So that takes it to around Pogue Airport pretty much right now. Sapulpa at 8:24. And we're not talking about when the rain gets here. We're talking about when the gusty winds will arrive, because that's the biggest threat with this, maybe up to 60 miles an hour. Skiatook 8:28 to Mounds 8:30. Tulsa, at least downtown, a little after 8:30, we'll call it 8:34, but just after the bottom of the hour, we'll have the gusty winds rolling through the city. Jenks at 8:39 towards Owasso at 8:44, and also about that time is when it could be approaching Broken Arrow from the west. But the heart of Broken Arrow just outside this warning, just on the eastern side of Tulsa County. They're not yet under a severe thunderstorm warning, but it seems likely that with time we'll have some kind of warnings continuing to follow this line of storms as it goes off to the east, along with flash flood warnings. In fact, I just saw a report I wanted to pass along to you from Bristow. Ham radio there reporting Bristow street flooding up to 6-inch depth on Main Street. You saw just how quickly this went downhill after this heavy rain moved into Bristow. So I would anticipate not wanting to be traveling in Metro Tulsa over the next hour unless you absolutely have to, because street flooding could happen very, very quickly. It's been such a wet month, one of the wettest months that Oklahoma has seen, and any additional rain on top of what we've already had, saturated ground, full rivers and reservoirs, does not have anywhere to go. So we could see flooding escalate very quickly in Metro Tulsa, and we want to be on our toes about that. So in addition to the saturated ground, gusty winds coming in, possibly up to 60 miles an hour, that could be knocking down some more trees, and people could be losing power. Wanted to check really quickly and see if we have any outage numbers. Not seeing anything in the PSO territory at this time, but we'll let you know as that evolves. So it would be a good time to go ahead and make sure that your phones are charged up and that you have ways to get alerts this evening and overnight if you lose power. So again, several things we're juggling right now. We've got the tornado warnings, Okfuskee, Latimer, Hughes, and Seminole counties. We've got the severe thunderstorm rolling into Metro Tulsa from the west with an embedded circulation, and also the flash flooding threat, rather flash flooding likelihood. We'll see what certified meteorologist Ben Wallnick has learned.
And we are still tracking 3 separate tornado warnings. Let's start with Latimer County, and I have some good news. From everything I'm looking at behind the scenes at this moment, the rotation looks to be just a little bit weaker in that storm, so that is definitely some good news with that storm. So in Latimer County, that tracking towards Wilburton, still a tornado warning in effect for the next 12 minutes, but the rotation a little bit weaker with that storm. As we pan things to the northwest, we have 2 tornado warnings stacked up very close to each other, and I do want to focus on the tornado warning that is in far northwestern parts of Hughes County. This will be tracking into Okfuskee County here in the next few minutes. So storm track on the potential rotation we're seeing there to the northeast. The same areas we were just talking about a few minutes ago. So perhaps Bearden around 8:31, about 15 minutes from now. Okemah 8:45. Not seeing anything at this time that would indicate to me that an obvious, looking at radar, that there's a tornado on the ground, and there's no reports at this time with either of those storms. But the tornado warning that we're seeing for Okfuskee County, that storm has a history of producing a tornado, and the strongest rotation I'm seeing is due west of Wetumpka, about to cross over into southwestern parts of Okfuskee County. So that is where we're seeing some significant rotation. We do have now a new tornado warning that was just issued. We'll go ahead and zoom things out and take a look at that. That is for Latimer and LaFleur counties. So that is with a new cell that is developed just to the southwest of Tallahena, and we'll do a storm track on that. That's moving north to northeast at 35 miles per hour. So tracking that to the northeast, and no communities in the path here for the next 25 minutes. So that's some good news moving through far southeastern parts of Latimer County. And now we have 4 separate tornado warnings across Green Country, and that flash flooding threat is starting to ramp up. The new flash flood warning just issued for Creek and Okfuskee County. That's in effect for a while, folks, all the way till 2:30 in the morning, and that is likely one of the first flash flood warnings we'll see, but not the last for Green Country tonight, as we have seen a lot of rainfall in the last few weeks, and a lot of rainfall is expected tonight. We've got the whole Fox 23 severe weather team in here this evening. Let's send things over to certified meteorologist John Boyer.
Yeah, I want to do a storm track now on the northern edge. We're talking about the Bartlesville vicinity all the way up into southeastern Kansas. This is your severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 8:45. This part of the storm could actually have some 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's been rolling across Osage County with some very heavy rain, too. Here's the storm track on the leading edge of the gusty winds rolling in to around Hula, 8:24, 8:29 for Skiatook, Bartlesville, 8:33, a little over 10 minutes from now. Bartlesville getting the worst of the winds with this. Sperry 8:36 over to Turley 8:43, Caney 8:46, Sedan some pretty heavy rain right now, but not under a severe thunderstorm warning. The rain is going to get heavier in Montgomery County, Kansas too, across Nowata County. We'll talk about this moving in the 15 to 45 minute away from now time frame, and into northern Tulsa County too. So we'll send it back down to the south a little bit to show you. Let's see what that new information is. There's actually also a possible small circulation southwest of Bartlesville that we're going to have to investigate and see if that maintains its trends, and maybe creating a tornado threat in that area as well. Same way we were watching a small circulation within the line in Creek County. We'll go back over to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot, see what you have to tell us about that.
Okay, we continue to reset the big picture now. Severe thunderstorm warnings, Tulsa and Bartlesville, but as we've talked about, right along the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms, that's where we've seen some of these brief spin-ups. And the atmosphere is still pretty prone to that right now, so we'll do a track right along the whole leading edge, because what we're looking at is the threat of wind gusts, and the main wind threat's going to be right in these spin-ups, of course. So Sand Springs, Skiatook, Tulsa by 8:49, and that's downtown. Mounds, Owasso by 9:09. Woodland Hills Mall 9:19, Nowata, and toward Coffeyville in Montgomery County by 9:36. We also have a couple of areas that we're watching closely now. We've been tracking a circulation that was in northern Creek County. That appears to have weakened just a bit. New circulation has developed, as John said, just to the southwest of Bartlesville. Now, as we look into Okfuskee County, this circulation's a little bit weaker, and it's now basically close to Highway 56 in northeastern parts of Okfuskee County. And as this continues to move to the northeast, maybe moving up toward Morris Oriental and toward the community of Okfuskee as it passes just to the west, or just to the east, I should say, of Highway 48 and Okemah Lake. We still have 2 tornado warnings in Latimer County and basically south of Highway 270. We'll get an update on these from meteorologist Ben Walnick in just a bit. But high-resolution Doppler radar data, as we look back into Creek County, our circulation is much weaker, thankfully. That's one thing that we were tracking very closely as it moved up a little bit closer to West 61st Street, southwest of Prattville, and south of Lotsie and Wakaiwa. Now, what I am seeing still is a very strong circulation on Fox 23 Doppler radar just now south of Willow Rock. And I'm going to take a little closer look at this storm right now, too. And I'm looking at, show you some rotation parameters on the storm. And it certainly does look like it's got very strong rotation, maybe just southeast of Willow Rock right now. So we're watching this very closely with the high-resolution Doppler radar data. The bright green coming back toward the radar, the brighter red moving away from the radar, and that circulation would be just southeast of Willow Rock. Why this is critical right now in eastern Creek County or eastern Osage County as it moves northeast, moving toward Matoka in extreme western parts of Washington County and eventually into the Bartlesville area too. So there is new tornado warning now for Creek, Okfuskee, and Okmulgee County. That's the storm that we just tracked in Creek County, in Okfuskee County, sorry, near the community of Okfuskee. So again, I want to bounce out and do a track, update this track on the storm that's very close to between Bartlesville and Willow Rock right now, and then we'll get you an update on that new tornado warning. So I want to do a track on the storm. It's as it moves right along Highway 23 or 123. Good point, John. As that moves to the northeast, that circulation center is just southwest of Bartlesville now. And I'm going to zoom all the way in, and it looks like that main circulation may be just to the southeast of Woolaroc right now. As it moves to the northeast, we'll just do a wind threat track here. As it moves northeast, we're talking about 25 to 30 minutes before it moves into Dewey. Bartlesville by about 8:43, Dewey at 8:51. Now let's jump back to the circulation that is in parts of Okfuskee County right now. This is the one we just tracked. The circulation not quite as strong as it was earlier, but certainly strong enough to warrant a new tornado warning. Circulation is actually very close to the community of Okfuskee. That's on Highway 56, just to the west of the Okfuskee-Okmulgee County line. And I'm looking at circulation actually maybe just a little bit southwest of Okfuskee. So we'll put that circulation just about right here, right along Highway 56. And as we move that to the northeast, I'm going to drag this over so we can get that track on for you. And what I'm looking at is the main part of the circulation is getting up close to the community of Okfuskee right now. As this moves to the northeast, it'll be moving just to the west of the Twin Lakes up toward New Yucca, if it holds together, Dentonville and Beggs over the next 30 minutes. So New Yucca 8:37, Dentonville at 8:47. That's the active tornado warning here. Now, southeast Oklahoma, we still have 2 tornado warnings in effect in parts of Latimer County. Meteorologist Ben Walnick has been tracking those. And Ben, you've got an updated storm track for us. 2 tornado warnings. It's basically the eastern 2/3 of Latimer County.
Yeah, 2 separate tornado warnings, and both moving at slightly different directions and around 30 to 35 miles per hour. The rotation I'm seeing in the storms perhaps a little bit weaker than when the warning was first issued 5 to 10 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and take a look at Weather 4. We'll zoom things in to our tornado warnings that we're seeing as we zoom things in. And that is an update here on this warning. So 6 miles north of the Kiamichi, that is moving north at Kiamichi and moving north at 30 miles per hour. And
Italian Airport by about 5 miles.
Okay, just west of the Tallahassee Airport by 5 miles. So we'll track that to the north. That's moving at 30 miles per hour. And pretty good news here, no cities popping up there. So in a fairly unpopulated area, moving through open, really farmland and forest land there in eastern parts of Latimer County. Moving through an area that actually was affected by the EF2 tornado, possibly here in the next 15 to 20 minutes as it passes into central and northern parts of Latimer County. So that is moving to the north at 6 miles an hour. I do want to do a little bit of a reset. We do have our tornado watch in effect. That is in effect for all of Green Country until 4 o'clock this morning. And one thing that we haven't really talked about at all yet tonight is the lightning. And we are seeing a lot of lightning, and there's a lot of folks out camping. There's a lot of folks at Rocklahoma and Pryor. We are starting to see just a few lightning strikes in that area. Let me do a broad swath of the lightning strikes that we're seeing across the area right now. And lots of lightning strikes out there, about 650 strikes. I do want to zoom things in to Pryor, where we have Rocklahoma. A lot of folks out there, and we are seeing a lightning strike or 2 not too far from that area, so within 5 miles. So folks there definitely need to be taking shelter if they can in the storms. Still a ways off, but more storms on the way. So lightning a threat as well, with a lot of folks camping and a lot of folks outside for this weekend. A lot of outdoor plans, and at a time where a lot of people will be outside right around sunset here at 8:27. You are watching Fox 23. We have several tornado warnings. That's why we're breaking in. We were watching the baseball game between the Royals and the Cardinals, but that went into a rain delay right when we saw our first tornado warning, and they're expecting a lot of rain in Kansas City, so there's a good chance that game doesn't even come back on tonight. Storms across the area. Tornado threat, flash flood threat, damaging wind threat, and lightning for folks that are outside. And as of right now, we're not seeing any power outages across the area, but we are still seeing several areas of rotation. Let's just check in with certified meteorologist John Boyer, who is tracking the flood potential across the area.
This is something new for you. Flash flood warning has been posted for all of Creek County and all of Okfuskee County. You may think with the tornado warning that is pretty high priority, but this is very high priority too. Flash flood warning for Bristow and Okemah with confirmed street flooding in parts of Bristow, and 1 hour rain rate in Bristow, 1.21 inches. That's just over the past hour. In Okemah, 1.5 inches of rain in the past hour. And not in this view, but still worth noting, down in Clayton, indicative of southern Latimer County. They've had 1.8 inches of rain in the past hour. Now, the strongest of these storms, based on the environment today, will be able to produce a 2-inch an hour rainfall rate. And that is definitely why we are worried about the flash flooding. So what I've put on this map, this isn't, you've seen this before probably in our coverage, and we'll do a 24-hour or since midnight rain pattern. This is actually just the rain from the last hour. And what I can do is query a couple of locations. You see the 1-inch an hour rain across Osage County, small pockets here in Okfuskee County in excess of 2 inches an hour when it comes to rainfall, and see the entire extent of this line from the Kansas border all the way back to Oklahoma City. That's the slow-moving squall line with heavy rain. It's rolling to the east, and it will continue to produce numbers like this in Green Country, maybe even higher. So we are just at the beginning stages of a serious flash flooding threat in Green Country tonight. Want to check and see if we have any new reports of any kind of damage or outages